Hi friends, I'm back with a video for the 11th day that is happening for ABC April 2025. That is an open collaboration. Margaret from Seven Plaza and Tony from Crafty by Tony. They are doing this collaboration where every day in April, with the exception of Sundays, we'll start off with a letter, and they made a list of prompts. And I am participating for the one on the 11th, which is for J, and I decided to do this one embellishment. I didn't think it up, I saw it somewhere, so I decided that I was going to make some embellishments with jump rings, such as these. So I just punched out the printable, glued the ring to the printable itself. These are the jump rings that I'm using. There they are. I alcohol inked several of them, and I used some. So I used all of these colors, and I think you saw them just now, but they're sienna. I used mushroom, rosewood, moss, and caramel, and along with some others. I think I used a pearl black. And I did some I bought these a while back. They're 1.5 inch key tags. That's what they are. And these key rings, I decided that I'd be able to, I took some off of the key tags. So I actually dyed a few of these, but I cut them down with a button shank remover because the jump ring, this key ring has an overlapping part in the middle. So what I did is I used a button shank, and I just kind of tried to cut it where it ends up that the metal isn't overlapping. And then right here you can see that they're not quite touching, but I kind of cut it as close as possible so that it would be a whole ring. So I decided to try and make some bigger ones as well. And then from there, I decided we'd see how it goes. From here, let's go ahead and start with the first thing. So you can either stamp images or numbers. That would be cool. I have several images, but since I had used the printables, I decided to go ahead and do that first. And I'm using Barely Art glue to glue the jump ring to the paper. I'm going to take the jump ring and I'm going to add glue to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this printable over and then place it on the ring. That way I can ensure that it's adhered fully. And then if I want to move it a little bit, I'm going to see if I can, because Barely Art glue works pretty quick, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to use this. That's okay. As you can see, the paper comes out of the ring, and that's okay with me. What I plan on doing after the fact is sanding it down, sanding the paper down so that it isn't visible on the back side of it. As you can tell here, I hope you can see that the paper sticks out a little bit, so I'm just going to sand the edges so that you don't quite see it. After this step, what I had in mind to make it look more like an embellishment or a finished tag, what I decided to do after this, and we're going to do it with the one I just made, is I'm going to use this glossy accents, and I've had it here on my desk, but I haven't used it in a minute, so hopefully it works and I don't have to do much to it in order for it to work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flood the embellishment so that it's completely flooded in the ring itself. Okay, so if you can tell there, I flooded that one. So I'm going to do the same with this one. Probably not do it as, maybe if I can hold it down. I'll hold this one down. Maybe not flood it as thick. Oh dear. This is going to be, this is going to be a struggle. I'm probably just going to do that. Okay. Maybe not full all the way, because I do eventually want to see if I can. All right, let it go. Am I still in frame? Yes. I don't know if you can see that, but I didn't flood that one as much as I did this one. And I think you can tell because of the opacity in the glue. This one has a lot less glue. Hopefully it levels out a little bit because I want it to look even. And then hopefully I can punch a hole in that one. I'm going to pick this one up and come up to the camera here. And you're going to see me just kind of wet the surface of it. And see if that works, because I do want to what I want to do is be able to either hole punch a hole and make sure that it doesn't have bubbles either. That works well enough, I think. We could try to flood it so that it's a little, it's shaped a little over. This is kind of hard to film, probably because the embellishments are a little bit small. So this one, I don't know if I said, I hole punched with a 3/4 inch circle punch from EK Success, and then the other punch that I used was, oh geez, it was smaller than that, the 1/2 inch from EK Success as well. So if you're looking, or maybe you have a punch that size, you can do that. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to do the rest. Okay, so it's the next day. Here are some findings. I went ahead and used a fake stamp. It's a stamp embellishment. I got these from the tickets, the red tickets from 49 and Market, the Ticket Essentials. That's where I got that one from. But I did end up using a real vintage stamp. I have a whole bag of these, and I did this one with a smaller jump ring, and I did the face, and I did the same thing for this one. I possibly could have used this in a better way, the real one, but I'm okay with it because I have several of these, and even in the same colorway. So these are both made, oh my gosh, did I just pick this one up from here? I think these were made with glossy accents, all of these. The clear nail polish ones, I've already cut around the paper first. I used some scissors, some fine detail scissors to cut around them, and then I just sanded them on the edges. I'll probably go in and use some ink on the edges to give it that final. Just wanted to show that I'm going to take my archival ink. So here's the dauber and there's the ink, and I'm just going to take that and give it some color so that the white paper isn't showing off quite as much. And I don't know if earlier in the video I did say that the color was leaking into the nail polish when I did these, and so that did end up creeping a lot more into the little picture, but that's okay to me because it still kind of looks more authentic, I guess. And I'm going to do the same thing for these. I left that little white piece because that's the backing that I can peel off, but this one was really cool. This is almost translucent. I don't know how you can, but it, like, I can see the light through the I can see light through it. So I think this one would be really cool to see if I can actually get a hole through it, and then maybe put some clear acetate in the back, and then just use it as a clear embellishment. I thought it was really cool. Or maybe even, and I just thought about this, is just use another jump ring and glue the back of it, almost like these metal rimmed tags where it has the metal on both sides. Maybe I can do that. It'll be a little bit, you know, it'll probably be about the same thickness, so I'm not too worried about that. And those came out pretty cool. I really do like the look of them, even though they're not, they are shiny, which I like. But I didn't flood these as much as the glossy accents. I did a whole bunch of the glossy accents. Here, you can see that I did those cabochon backed ones, and some of them ended up with air bubbles, and that's okay with me. Some of them I still have to prep by cutting the edge and then sanding them. These worked pretty well. This one also leached the color into it, which is okay by me. It's fine. And then I also found some pattern paper, some old pattern paper. I think this is basic gray, and that had names on it. So I did those as well. You can do all kinds of things. I also grabbed some packaging paper. This was packaging paper, and this is from 49 and Market. So I just punched holes on the bigger ones or pieces of the packaging, and then I used the bigger rings, the jump rings that I cut down to size. That's washi tape backed on a piece of cardstock, and I just hole punched pieces that were interesting. I did end up taking like on this part right here, the blue ticket part right here underneath my finger, or right by my finger. I took the number and then I put it on another piece of the washi tape so that it still looks like it's part of the piece that I punched out. Like, for example, that 5 cent right there, or this 2 cent right here. Those are the pieces that I put right on top. Like this 10 cent is part of the washi stamp embellishment, and this is an actual backing of the packaging. So the fact that the washi lends itself to almost be clear, I can tell where I cut. Oh, there we go. Where it's almost clear, I can tell where I cut the edge of that 10 cent and added it to the backing of the packaging, but it doesn't bother me because it's not as noticeable, and I was still able to implement that into the stamp edge. Some I didn't flood as much, like this one. You can still tell that I didn't put as much glossy accents on it, but I kind of like that look as well. It kind of reminds me of typewriter keys when you do that, when you don't flood it. If you flood it, it looks like an enamel dot or something, or an enamel brad. But if you don't flood it, it reminds me more of like that typewriter key look. I liked the end result. I'm happy with the results. I did a bunch of them. I think I did about 50. And then the thing that I did learn, because here's another one that looks like a typewriter key to me because I didn't flood it as much. I don't know if you can tell. You can tell in real life, but anyway, I thought that was really cool. So one thing I did learn is to leave it alone. Not to touch it. These are the Ranger multi-matte medium ones, and I like the result of these as well. This one is flooded a bit more. It's not even sticky to the touch, but I have left my thumbprint on it, so I think this one still needs a little more time because I could feel an impression, or I could see the impression if I press it too hard of my thumbprint. But they came out real cool as well. So if you have alternatives of glues that dry clear, you could probably try that and then see what kind of results you get. So yes, what I was gonna say is, once I punched out the thing that I want to glue down, for example, what I did, and I'm going to use this because it's just the size that it needs to be, but I put it down on my work surface area, right? And then what I do is I place the ring that I'm going to use as the thing that I'm gluing on top of it. And then what I do from there is I flood the thing on the outside first, and then leave it so that it will set. On washi tape, it needs to set a little bit longer than usual paper. So just beware of that. Because it did take me quite a while, and I did a couple of mistakes where it was flooding out from the sides and the ring wouldn't stick to the washi tape as fast as like regular paper would. So then I started with the edges first, and then I would flood from the outside in. And I like doing that because it kind of grows into a little mound, and then it has a nice rounded beveled edge to the embellishment once it's done. Once I learned that I could do that, it went a lot faster for me in the what do you call it? Like almost like an assembly style process. I went ahead and I taped the washi stickers to the paper, and then I started looking for the pieces that would look interesting. I'm really happy with the result, and I hope you enjoy this make. I really had a lot of fun jumping into this collaboration. I hope to make more videos. I give props to those people that make videos every day. I can't do that first of all, I'm too wordy. Second of all, I make my things too long, and then I take too long to process them, and editing is just a whole pain in the butt and a half. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Leave a comment if you'd like. Give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.